Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Classic Movie Buffet Theater. All right, here we go. All right, now, thanks to everyone that has stayed subscribed to the channel and are watching the videos. It's greatly appreciated. I think we went down a subscriber, which that happens sometimes, and it's okay. We'll get past it. But thank you guys for tuning in today. On today's episode of Classic Movie Buffet Theater, we're going to talk about a movie called, well, I'll give you the title here in just a second, but we're going to talk about a movie that came out in 2000. The movie is going on 25 years old, almost 26 years old by now. This is October. And it was directed by a fellow by the name of Brian Robbins. And he directed such films as The Shaggy Dog. That was the 2006 version with Tim Allen. He's responsible for such films as Norbit with Eddie Murphy. Hilarious movie. Hilarious movie. And he is also responsible for the movie Good Burger. It has been a long time since I've seen Good Burger with Keenan and Kel. But it was an awesome comedy. It was so funny. Those guys together were fantastic. That's all there is to it. They were just fantastic. So the movie we're going to talk about today, directed by Brian Robbins, is a little movie called Ready to Rumble. Now, this film, if you're a wrestling fan, you've seen this film. If you're not a wrestling fan, but you love a good, fun comedy film, this is for you. I myself am a big wrestling fan. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a big wrestling fan. But this movie, Ready to Rumble, stars David Arquette, who plays the character of Gordy, and he's also played in such films as, of course, Scream. He plays Dewey in Scream, in the Scream franchise. He's also played in Stephen King's Riding the Bullet. And he also played in a little film that pays homage to classic monster movies called Eight-Legged Freaks. Now, all three of those films are fantastic. I love the Scream franchise, first of all. It's one of the better franchises. Uh, Stephen King's Riding the Bullet was a good movie. I don't think it was totally based on Stephen King's novel or short story, but most of them aren't. But it was a decent flick for David Arquette because he's spectacular in that, I think, in my opinion. And Eight Legged Freaks, I love that movie. I can't say enough about that film. I love that film. It's a fantastic, funny horror comedy. And the film also stars the wonderful Oliver Platt, and he plays the character of Jimmy King. And he's also played in such classic films as Lake Placid, Dr. Doolittle with Eddie Murphy, and he also played in the film Benny and June with, I had his name in my head, and now I've lost Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. And all three of those films are great films. I'm a horror buff, so yes, I enjoyed Lake Placid. Betty White's character in that film was fantastic. Doctor Doolittle was a great comedy with Eddie Murphy in it. And Benny and June, what can you say about Benny and June? That movie was fantastic. A lot of the scenes that Johnny Depp was in that film, he did really well. Especially the diner scene with the dancing rolls. That scene was fantastic. It's a great film. It's a great film. And the film also stars the great Scott Conn, who plays the character of Sean. And he also played in such films as Gone in 60 Seconds, in also in 2000. It's the remake with Nicolas Cage. And he also played in the great Western, American Outlaws. That movie is fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed that movie. It's one of the few movies, the few Westerns that I actually did enjoy watching. I like a lot of John Wayne westerns, a lot of Clint Eastwood westerns. Some of the westerns he did were fantastic. American Outlaws is right up there. It's right up there. And he also played in the film called Enemy of the State. Now, it's been years since I've seen Enemy of the State. Um, so I don't remember his character in that film. But he is in that film. He plays it's a film with Will Smith. Um, but I have seen it, and it was a great film. I enjoyed that film. I need to go back and check that film out. Like I said, it's been years since I've watched that. All right, so the plot for this film is two slacker wrestling fans are devastated by the ousting of their favorite wrestler by an unscrupulous producer or promoter. I'm sorry, unscrupulous promoter. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the 2000 comedy Ready to Rumble. Here we go.
Giants come and go in this great sport of ours, but there is only one king, Jimmy King.
Wrestling's fake. Wrestling's not fake! I like wrestling. My dad sucks, man. I mean, he's making me take that cop exam. I mean, I should be able to make up my mind about what I want to do with my life.
But who cares, bro? What's tonight? Monday Night Nitro!
Here we go with tonight's main event for the WCW Heavyweight Crown. Diamond Dallas Page. Jimmy King.
Behold the king.
Okay, Pagey. Hip talk, baby.
Now, this must have happened for a reason. We gotta find Jimmy King.
Hey, hallelujah. I'm on a quest to find King.
I can find anyone on the net.
St. Francis Motor Court.
Jimmy King! Need you to rise above this, take Sinclair down.
I have to say, I wouldn't mind taking a nice swing at that little dirt bump.
You give me what's mine, you slimy ass freak!
Any match, anytime, you name it.
The steel cage. You're gonna win that $1 million and get your belt back because that's our mission.
Everybody knows wrestling's fake.
That feel fake?
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to
All right, that was the trailer for Ready to Rumble by Brian Robbins. The budget for this movie was an estimated $24 million. But the worldwide gross for this film was only $12,452,362. Not very good. Not very good. Wasn't well received at the box office, but that's okay. A lot of movies aren't, but they are fantastic movies. This movie surprised me with its wit and tremendous cast of supporting characters, as well as the good job done by the leads. I actually believed the silliness of the characters and their obsession with their idol, Jimmy King, played by Oliver Platt. Martin Landau was also great in this film as the old time wrestling trainer, Sal Bandini. Many fun bits, as well as an attempt to add heart to these silly characters. The movie's focus wasn't on lowbrow humor, but the funny situations that the characters find themselves in. Ready to Rumble is not supposed to be a good movie. It's meant to be an escape Uh, it's meant to be an escape from life for an hour and a half. It's supposed to be a fun one. It's not supposed to be, a good movie. It's supposed to be a fun movie, and it exceeds at that. It excels at that. It's a great movie to escape life and laugh for an hour and a half. It's a fantastic movie. I enjoy it so much. Wrestling fans will love it. Even people that aren't fans of professional wrestling, uh, should find a little fun in this film. It's one of those movies where the characters are so likable, even though they're somewhat stupid, portray a stupid role, but they're likable characters. And the stuff that they get themselves into along the way is just so freaking funny and so freaking hilarious. I love this movie. All right, so we're going to jump into a little bit of trivia for the film now. David Arquette made a string of appearances on WCW TV around the movie's release. Yeah, he did. And was I impressed by his appearances on WCW TV? No, I was not. I didn't like the way the story ran with him being on the TV show, the wrestling show. I didn't like the way they did things, and there was probably a lot of other people that didn't like the way they did it either. In lieu of spending any of the money paid to Arquette from WCW, he gave all of his earnings to the family of deceased wrestler Brian Pillman. Brian Pillman at the time was one of the villains, the heels, in the business on WCW programming. Many of you know he was tied in with the Four Horsemen there for a little while with Ric Flair and his group, the Four Horsemen, and he passed away. Um, and in honor of his passing, or in memorial of his passing, I should say, David Arquette, instead of receiving money from WCW for his appearances, he donated that money to Brian Pillman's family, which is an amazing act of kindness, especially at a time like that. Brian Pillman will forever be one of my favorite lightweight wrestlers, cruiserweight as they called him, and a good heel. He was a great heel, and he'll always be remembered as one of the greats in WCW history. WWE superstar John Cena can be seen in background in the gym scene where Goldberg appears for the first time in the film. It's a quick glimpse, more or less. He's just walking by, but you can tell it's him just by looking at him. He's jacked, as always. So, I mean, and this was, I would say this was probably, and I could be wrong on this, but I would say it was probably before or right as he had just started wrestling for WWE from the OVW developmental area of the wrestling. So he's a young John Cena in that scene. Martin Landau's character Sal Bandini is based upon legendary wrestling coach Stu Hart. Stu Hart was a gritty, hard-nosed wrestler and trainer. And he still, through the years as he was training other wrestlers, he was known to be hard-nosed and stiff, but he was in excellent shape for a man of his age to still be in the wrestling business as a trainer, even as a trainer. The man was a great technician in the ring, and it showed by the way he trained his sons and the family. Bret Hart was, nicknamed the excellence of execution because his moves were so crisp and so flowed in every one of his matches, along with Owen Hart. Owen Hart was an incredible professional wrestler, incredible. So the whole Hart family, uh, that was in the wrestling business, were great wrestlers. All of them were. All of them were. Scott Kahn did his own stunts for this film. He did a lot in the film. Not, I don't think it would be anything that would be considered as like really, really tough to do or really dangerous to do. I could be wrong on that. I'm not in the business. But he did do his own stunts in this film. So that's commendable. That's commendable. Oliver Platt actually struck Randy Savage in the face during the filming of the fantasy scene. I'm sure that happens a lot in movies. They accidentally hit the other guy. Um, I'm pretty sure that it felt like a bee sting to Randy Savage, because I'm telling you, Randy Savage was the macho man. He was the dude. He was the Slim Jim eating, you know, wrestling god. Savage was an incredible performer in the ring, incredible performer. And you can also see that the scene where he accidentally struck Randy Savage. You can actually see that in the blooper reel at the end of the movie during the credit scene. They roll the bloopers during the credits, which is, I love when movies do that. I love it. But you can see that when they roll the credits in the film. Rose McGowan threw the script in the trash 3 times before agreeing to play in the film. She absolutely hated the film. She didn't want to play in the film at all. She read the script and just hated it. And it's, according to that, she threw it in the trash three different occasions before she agreed to play in the film. So, yeah, it may not have looked good on paper, but like I said, on screen, it's a fantastic film. I enjoyed this film so much. I still watch it fairly often. If I can't find anything else to watch and I'm in the mood for a good comedy. And I've overplayed movies like Beverly Hills Cop, and American Pie was okay. Some of those great classic comedies, Revenge of the Nerds. I've overplayed those so much. Porky's. So, this is a good one to fall back on when you've watched all those other ones so many times that you're about tired of them. Just pop that one in and watch that one. It's fantastic. Jack Palance was to play Sal Bandini, but was replaced by Martin Landau. Um, Martin Landau did a phenomenal job as Sal Bandini, but I also think that Jack Palance could have done a just as good of a job, or even better, than Martin Landau. But Jack Palance is a fantastic, amazing, legendary actor. Um, and to have his name tied in with this film would have been fantastic. Not that Martin Landau's minced meat or anything. The man is a movie legend himself. So either one would have been fantastic for this role. Either one of them. WCW star Chris Kanyon served as Oliver Platt's stunt double. Chris Kanyon was a young, I don't want to say up and comer, but he was a young superstar, young wrestler in WCW. He wore a mask and was the character of Mortis for a long time, and then switched off from that and became Kanyon. And if I'm not mistaken, Kanyon passed away uh, several years after this movie came out. Of course, but he was an innovator in the ring with his style of wrestling, his move set. It was very innovative. I enjoyed watching his matches when he was Mortis. Kanyon, he kind of slacked off a little bit, as far as building his character. But he was still a good superstar, a good wrestler. One that I miss. You don't hear his name enough anymore. He's kind of faded off into the blue yonder, and nobody really talks about him that much anymore. But he was a fantastic wrestler. Fantastic wrestler. And finally, Titus Sinclair, played by Joe Pantoliano, was based on WCW Vice President Eric Bischoff, uh, who was originally going to be in the film. Bischoff was fired from WCW before filming began. It doesn't specify why Bischoff was fired from WCW, but he was fired from WCW before the film came out. He was originally supposed to be in the film, which he was already at that time portraying a villainous character, a heel character in WCW television programming. But I don't think in any way, shape, or form could he have played this role as good as Joe Pantoliano did. Joe is an amazing actor. I've seen him in all kinds of films. He's just fantastic. But again, I don't think Eric Bischoff could have played it as well as he did. So I'm glad Eric Bischoff wasn't in this film. There are a ton of wrestling superstars in this film. There, to name a few, there's Rey Mysterio, Prince Iaukea, Bam Bam Bigelow, Booker T, Goldberg, Billy Kidman. There's just a bunch of superstars in this film. Sid Vicious is in this film. I think, Sid Vicious was in this film. And just a vast array of different wrestlers that you'll spot. Sting was in the film. And it's a great wrestling movie. If you enjoy professional wrestling, it's a great comedy. Even if you don't enjoy professional wrestling, it's still a great comedy. Like I said, just go into it when you go to watch it. Don't think of it as good or bad. Think of it as entertaining, because that's what it is. It's not going to win an Oscar. It never will win an Oscar, but it's a very entertaining film that lets you escape from life's daily issues. And if there were more movies like this, I honestly think the world may be a better place in some aspect. This was an amazing film. I enjoyed it so much. The one-liners, the stuff that Gordy and Shawn get themselves into, the stuff that Jimmy King gets himself into in this film is so hilarious. There's a scene where they have to track him down. You saw a piece of it in the trailer, where they had to track him down, and they tracked him down to a mobile home park. And he's sitting in the trailer dressed up as a woman because he doesn't want anybody to recognize him. That whole scene right there is comedy gold. That whole scene is just so funny. Especially when he goes from talking into his deep voice and then tries to talk in a lady's voice. Yeah, that movie's hilarious. And there's also Christina, I think it's Christine Ree. I think that's her name.
I guess I deserve that.
Oh, I just had to kick you in the diddly again. Oh!
In this film, she was in. She played in Sabrina the Teenage Witch on TV. She plays in this film as Jimmy King's ex-wife. She's phenomenal in this movie. She's so funny. She's hilarious in this film. The whole film from top to bottom is just hilarious. Like I said, it's all the things that they get themselves into that is so funny. Mean Gene Okerlund plays a scene in this film. He's got a scene with Oliver Platt, which is hilarious. In boxing fans, you guys will even recognize the ring announcer, Michael Buffer, who called a lot of the boxing matches over the years and then parlayed into ring announcing for WCW. He was a phenomenal ring announcer. He would come out and he would announce the main event for the shows. He was fantastic. But this film's great. I hope you do decide to, if you haven't seen it before, I hope you decide to check it out. Take my recommendation. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section down below after you watch it. Or if you've seen it before, let me know what you thought of the film. Maybe something on here that I mentioned in the trivia, you know something different. Just let me know. I love looking up this stuff on these movies. I love getting the background on them and, finding some of the trivia. I learn a lot by reading some of the trivia on these films. So I love doing this. This is fantastic. But I don't write down everything or read through everything in the trivia section. So, you know, but anyways, like I said, just leave a comment down in the comment section below if it, what you thought of this film, if you liked it, you loved it, you hated it, why you hated it, why you loved it, anything at all. And don't forget, Saturday will be Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. I've got some decent movies coming out on the show. I think some big ones. It is October. It's Halloween month. It's my favorite month of the year, other than Christmas. You have to throw that in there. Other than Christmas, but it is my favorite month of the year. I love the horror movies that come out this time of year. A lot of them get played and played and played and played, but it is what it is. It's Halloween. It's spooky season. I love it. So I will see you guys on Saturday for Mikey's Saturday Nightmares. And I will see y'all Saturday. And then I'll see you again on next Thursday for another classic movie buffet theater. So until then, have a good one, folks. Be excellent to each other and take care. Bye-bye.